So the soul families, I get a little curious because as we come into this incarnation of this life, choosing our life lesson, we also have so many other people around us with their own. And
Right.
so I'm wondering about that interaction with you, with them. Is this really just the most magical, beautiful jigsaw puzzle you've ever seen, where everything just fits together, where people are learning their lessons with all just the right people? How does the soul family work? And I definitely can feel that
Yeah.
with people where you're like
In the
such a
same way,
familiarity.
that people in physical reality have friends, have families. You make agreements with different beings to reflect different things to you at different times, to play different parts to allow you to grow so that you can play parts to allow them to grow and experience whatever it is they're choosing to experience. So, you gather the beings around you and they gather you around them that work in terms of what it is each of you are attempting to do.
Mhm.
So your soul family can grow, your soul family can change in much the same
Mm.
way that your friends change, and you learn things from them, they learn things from you. You travel together on a journey,
Mhm.
and get out of it whatever you decided you need to get out of it, and give them what they need to be who they are too. So it's just kind of like the non-physical version of the friends and family that we have here.
So is there a soul family mission and then there's individual missions, or is
Yeah.
it really quite individual?
Well, I think it's both, because again, you can have individuals that have a very specific journey in mind. You can have families that agree to do something together, as a group, and work out the parts. And you can play different parts at different times. You know,
Yeah.
somebody can be the mother, somebody can be the father, somebody can be the son, the daughter, the cousin, and then take turns being something else. So it just depends on what you want to get out of your relationship with all of them, and vice versa. So yeah, I think it can happen that way. And I think it can also happen on a much larger collective scale. There's an entire collective consciousness to our entire human species. And I think there's agreements on that level as well as higher levels. So it just depends on what we're doing here, what we want to do here, what we want to learn here. Because Bashar has really talked about the earth as, a lot of people think, oh, we're so primitive, we're like a kindergarten. He's saying, no, you're a master graduating class. He said, Earth is a tough school. So the idea of coming through the earth cycles that are so limiting and can be so dark and so negative, he said, and then still transforming that into something positive, he said, that's a master graduating class. You don't understand how strong you all are.
I feel like I've always heard that people want to come here.
Yeah, it's exciting. It's like going on a roller coaster at a theme park.
No shit.
For a while it's scary, and it's kind of, you think, okay, I could die any second, but then you get through it and you go, okay, I've conquered that. I've transformed that experience into something I can use in the future. So yeah, it's a tough school, but it's a very rewarding school if you can get through it.
So do you have to be an evolved soul to arrive on Earth?
I think you have to have a commitment to learn a certain thing.
Mhm.
Evolved, it's a relative term, because as a spirit you are kind of evolved. But of course, when you decide to have an incarnation, especially on earth, you place certain limitations on yourself. You forget who you are so that you can sort of discover who you are from another point of view. That's sort of the purpose of the idea of space-time, is it gives you a chance to experience something from a new perspective. You can grow that way, you can change that way, you can learn something different that way about yourself, because really in spirit it's sort of timeless. So there's really no sense of growing or change in the same way.
Mhm.
But when you impose this limitation, it's like having a whole new experience that gives you a sense of, okay, this is this aspect of you, and this
Mhm.
is how this aspect changes and grows, and you discover more, because the structure of existence never changes. It is what it is. It's your relationship to it and your experience of it and your perspective of it that's what grows. That's how creation expands.